This is Michael Woodward, and this is Season 2, Episode 84 of the Jumblethink Podcast.
T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Jumblethink Podcast, where we interview leading entrepreneurs about their journey of turning dreams and ideas into reality. Along the way, they'll share some tips on how you can turn your dreams and ideas into reality too. Today on the podcast, we are talking about the ever-evolving life of chasing big ideas and dreams. I want to encourage you to head on over to wherever you like to listen to podcasts and click that subscribe button. If you like listening on iTunes or Spotify, it's super simple. Simply go to jumblethink.com/iTunes or jumblethink.com/Spotify. It will take you right to the app and click that subscribe button. While you're there, leave us a rating and review. Now let's jump into today's episode. Hey there, welcome to the Jumblethink Podcast. My name is Michael Woodward. I am your host. We have an incredible episode lined up. We're going to be talking all about the ever-evolving life of chasing big ideas and dreams. Before we do that, we want to thank the sponsors for today's episode, OpportunityInChina.com and Floxy. Here is a little bit more about both of them. You have a killer idea for the perfect graphic or website, but you feel stuck and overwhelmed by the cost and skills it takes to create those ideas. Maybe you lack the time you need to create them. No matter the obstacle, it's time to get that idea created. And our friends over at Floxy can help you create those killer graphics, the perfect website, or even create the copy that's used on your next ad, all at a low cost, starting at $349 per month. Their on-demand, unlimited graphic design, web, and copywriting are backed by a 7-day money-back guarantee for all new accounts. And you'll be working with a dedicated US-based project manager assigned to your account. There are no hidden fees, and billing is month to month. So check them out for your next project and for the project after that too. You can find them at floxy.com, FLOCKSY.com. Let them know that Jumblethink sent you. Have you been looking for a way to change your career or social prospects? Do you see the world around you changing and haven't quite figured out what path to take? Well, you are not alone in seeking opportunity. Visit OpportunityInChina.com for access to scholarships to attend university in China, or if you have a bachelor's degree already, OpportunityInChina.com provides access to jobs in the educational sector all across China. Working in China is not only often well paid, but it will place you among 1/5 of the world's population, boosting your social network, bringing you more deeply into the story of globalization, and opening doors you never knew existed. So seize your opportunity now. Visit their website for more information at OpportunityInChina.com. By the way, they have a great podcast. Search for Opportunity in China Podcast to check it out. Now let's dive into today's episode. Today on the podcast, we have a really cool topic that we are talking about. It is the ever-evolving life of chasing ideas and dreams. Now I have a question for you. Have you ever had a dream or idea and you went for it? Or let's simplify it even more. Maybe you had an event you were going to go to. It could have been something as simple as prom or a family trip to wherever your dream location was. And you built up this picture. You created this picture. You painted it in your mind. When I get there, this is what it's going to be like. You know, or if I reach this dream, if I reach this goal, if I reach this idea and I create it, then all of these other things are going to happen. Well, I think as entrepreneurs or as dreamers, as idea makers, or simply as people going after really cool bucket list items, we all do that. We paint a picture of expectation for where we're going and what it will be like when we get there. Now, doing this isn't necessarily good or bad. You know, sometimes you create this dream, this expectation in your mind of what you should expect, the journey and the results over exceed what you have dreamt, and you're super excited. It leaves a beautiful memory in your mind. It drives you forward to the next thing. It's awesome. But I think most of the time when we go on this journey, our expectations fall flat of what we expected. They don't measure up to the picture we paint. And in that, we may lose the dream, the idea, the experience. So I want to today talk about another way, a different way to process this. First off, I'm not saying don't have expectations. Don't get excited about the journey. I'm not saying that at all. Get very excited about the journey. Get very excited about the results that you're going to achieve, the impact it will have on your life and the lives around you, the experiences and memories and just sheer joy of making dreams and ideas happen. Don't give that up. But instead, let's shift our mindset. Sometimes it's great to paint that picture and it will help drive us forward till we reach it. But often that's not the case. So what do? We evolve the dream. We evolve the idea so that our initial picture becomes even stronger. Evolving the idea, the dream as you go through the process will help you give new perspective so that you can sustain the journey of chasing those dreams and ideas. Now, did you ever go to a movie which had been built up by your friends and family, by the media, as this great epic picture that you shouldn't miss? Well, you went, you saw, and you hated it. Well, that was an expectation in which you didn't have your expectation reached. You could hate the movie forever, and sometimes that's the right solution, or you could step back and see the value that it brings. Another way to say this is I went to see Mount Rushmore. So many people told me, you see it in pictures. It looks grand. It looks awesome. Then you get there and it's not grand. It's not as big as you thought. Well, I had lowered my expectation based on the feedback people had given me. And then when I got there, I saw it and I was wowed. I loved it because my expectation was realigned and all of a sudden I could see it for what it was. All right, let's go a little bit further on this. I've used this analogy of you paint in your mind a picture, and that dream doesn't meet the expectations. The ideas don't meet the expectations, and all of a sudden you just, you feel like that dream, that idea is a failure. If we move that analogy into the real world, you have painters like Picasso and Van Gogh and Goya who all reused canvases. Now, was there something wrong with that first piece of art they created? I don't know. But they saw something different and they repainted the new picture of what they wanted to create over the foundation of the old painting. All of these are examples of how you can evolve a dream, an idea, or concept into something more so that the dream and idea doesn't fail you. Now, you're listening and you're going, Mike, this sounds all great, but I have no idea how I do this. How do I navigate this? Well, I'm glad you asked because I'm going to answer that. Number one, I want you to set realistic expectations. When I started this podcast, I had lofty goals that, every episode's going to be listened to 100,000 people, or maybe 50,000 people, or maybe 30,000 people. And a year in, all of a sudden, I realized that the world is big, but that doesn't mean that everyone's going to find this podcast. The people that resonate with this podcast, it might take them a while to find it because there's so much content, so many voices being shared in this new digital age. And so I had to step back and say my expectation of the listeners for this podcast early on in the first year wasn't realistic. And then I reevaluated and said, what are little micro steps I can take? Maybe it's to reach 5,000 listeners or 10,000 downloads or 20,000 downloads. Whatever it is, reassess the journey of what you're trying to reach to make it realistic. That doesn't mean undershoot the dream. That doesn't mean devalue it to the point in which you're not seeing any value in the dream and idea anymore. But make realistic goals, because sometimes the dream will take And actually, most of the time, the dream, the idea will take much longer than you expected. The question is, are you willing to keep the course and keep on going, even when your expectations fail you? Or are you willing to set realistic expectations that help you drive to success? I like to say that it's more important to break down your expectations into smaller expectations that you can achieve in steps than to have one massive expectation and not reach it. And so by breaking the expectations down into steps, that will also help you. And with setting realistic expectations, one of the key elements that so many of us forget is that we are often not reinventing the wheel. Go find people that have gone on this journey or similar journeys and ask them about their journey. Learn about how their dreams and ideas unfolded. What was realistic? What was unrealistic? How did they succeed? How did they fail? And then use that to reinforce your knowledge to set better expectations and evolve the dream. Number 2 is an ongoing process. Often when we have a dream or an idea, we're on this path, we are hyper-focused, we're going to reach it no matter what, we're going to die trying if that's what it takes, but we're going to do it. And the answer is to slow down. And that seems strange because if you want to hurry up, wouldn't you push harder? Well, that's not always the answer. Sometimes you need to slow down in the process to actually move faster. Which leads us to that second step, which is assess, assess, assess. Be intentional about being aware of what's going on around you. What's working, what's not working. How has your dream maybe shifted based on the new knowledge you have, based on experience, so that you can grow it, evolve it, and change it. This is an intentional step. You have to build this into the process of chasing your ideas and dreams. And assessment isn't just about being aware, it's also about making changes and pivoting the business as you grow, or pivoting the dream, or pivoting that journey that you're on so that your dream becomes realigned with where you need to go to see it become the fullness of what it could be. Number 3, ask for outside help and perspective. Often when we're in the journey, we are blinded by the realities we're experiencing, the grief, the failure, the disappointment, how hard it is. All of these are challenges that we face, and we need outside help and perspective to keep us on the journey. This will help us evolve because people's perspectives are going to be different than ours. It's going to challenge what we're thinking, challenge what we're experiencing, and charge us to move forward so that we can continue to push through and see the amazing results that we're longing to get. This outside perspective and help will keep you on course. It will help point you in new directions. It will keep you encouraged on that journey, and you need it as part of the ever-evolving life of chasing those dreams and ideas. Number 4, we often think when we have a dream or an idea that our way is the right way. We have all the knowledge, we have all the understanding, and we will get it done because we know best. The reality is we're pretty naive. We're definitely underinformed, and we don't have the experience to push through in ways to make these dreams a reality. And so you need to step back and be soft in your mind and intellect to learn and grow. This doesn't have to go through traditional learning paths, although sometimes it should. Sometimes if you're facing a challenge, you need to take that continuing education course, or you need to go back to a college and university to learn the areas that you don't know. Maybe you need to get that MBA degree so that you have better understanding of business. But it doesn't mean that that's the only way to learn. Just like in our last step, maybe find a mentor or coach and have them coach you. Pick up some books and vicariously learn from the lessons others have learned on their journey of chasing dreams and ideas. Be creative in the ways that you're learning, but don't stop learning. Don't get to the point where you're arrogant and you think you know best. Keep on the journey and can keep on learning so that you can grow. This will help you have perspective to then evolve your dream. Number 5, celebrate the victories. These victories are milestones that should be celebrated. And if we look at this for the long game, for the long haul, for the journey over the course of time, we need these little victories along the way that we celebrate. Because chasing dreams and ideas gets rough. It gets hard. We need to celebrate the little things that keep us going. These little flag posts on our journey. These little markers on the trail will keep us pointed in the right direction. But sometimes we get to splits in the path, splits in the road. When we get there, we have choices to make on what our dream, what our idea ultimately looks like. And you have to evolve that because you have a choice of A and B or A, B, and C. And this will change the destiny of that dream, that idea. And it's okay to evolve that. But find those little victory places along. Celebrate those. Look back at those as points to lead you to the future. What's working, what isn't, the feelings you had, the emotions that rose up. Keep on going. Number 6, don't be rigid. It's often that we get stuck in our ways. We become stubborn. We, to use all the cliches, we dig our heels in and we know that we have to keep going. This will lead you to a destruction of the dream and idea. Be fluid in chasing your dream and ideas. That doesn't mean don't be driven, but it does mean don't be set in your ways. Number 7, be agile. I talked about fluid there. Agile is a way that you can quickly adapt to the changing environment around you so that you can reach the right dream and goal on the journey of chasing the big dream and idea. As you're agile, you can respond to situations, to failures, to victories, and pivot into something better. Your initial dream might not be the best dream for you. It might not be the best idea for you. But once you push into it, being agile allows you to evolve that dream so that you can pivot into the better things. And number 8, I say this often, and it's so, so, so important. Have fun. We get into the grind of chasing dreams and ideas. We push hard. We work hard. We do the things we should do. And in that, we lose our way and it becomes the grind. It becomes the hustle. So today I challenge you in our final step, kill the hustle, kill the grind, make it a lot of fun. That may mean that you need to take a break every once in a while. Step back and reflect, relax, and just do something that's even outside the scope of what your dream and idea is to get you back onto the path of being excited about the dream that you're on. Ultimately, this is all about you. This is all about setting yourself up for success and not getting burnt out by the failure of missed expectations, of not reaching your goals and dreams, or being so stuck in your ways that you don't realize that your dream and idea has changed. All of these things are okay. It's time to start living a lifestyle where your dream, your idea is ever evolving. It's life-giving. It's life perpetuating to push you forward into the possibilities of new ideas and dreams or better ideas and dreams along that journey. Now, I want to be clear about this. I'm not saying be wishy-washy and jump onto the next big bandwagon or go to where the grass is greener. What I'm saying is that in this journey, be aware that your journey will be a process. And that process should be something that excites you. It should be a process that allows you freedom to go into places that you never even knew existed or could be a possibility for you. So I hope today that you've thought about this, that this episode has encouraged you, that in the process of having big ideas and dreams, the dream, the idea will evolve. It will change. It will have a life of its own, and that's okay. That's part of the process. I want to know what you think about today's episode. I want to know about how your dreams and ideas have evolved too. I want to hear your stories of what's causing your dreams and ideas to become something better than you could have ever imagined, that it's a picture that you couldn't have even painted when you first started. I want to hear the struggles and the letdowns and how you're overcoming those to paint a new picture of a new revelation of the dreams and ideas and destinies you have. Thanks again for tuning in. We want to take a moment and thank today's episode sponsors. Here's a little bit more from them. Floxy is doing some really, really cool stuff. Did you ever need a graphic designed, a website developed, or copywritten, but found that the designers and developers were too expensive and often took a long time to get your project completed? Well, Floxy is your answer. Floxy is your unlimited graphic design, web development, and copywriting team. Plans start at $349 per month with no hidden fees, month-to-month billing, and you can cancel at any time. So check them out for your next project and for the project after that at floxy.com. That's FLOCKSY.com. And let them know that Jumblethink sent you.
At the dawn of the 19th century, forward-thinking people moved to the commercial centers of Europe. Moving into the 20th century, America welcomed millions into the land of freedom and opportunity. It is now the 21st century. Many of the successes and fortunes of our generations will be made in China. To learn how you can seize opportunity in China, follow the Opportunity in China podcast. The Opportunity in China podcast is available anywhere podcasts are streamed, or you can visit our website at opportunityinchina.com.
Thanks again for tuning in. I want to encourage you, the journey is worth it. The dream and ideas are worth it. You are created for something special. You are created for purpose. It's your turn to step into that dream. It's your time to chase that idea. It's your time to fulfill the purpose in which you were created. The world needs people like you more than ever before. Get out there and be a light to shine for the hope and possibilities when you step into those dreams and destinies you're created to live for. Thanks again for tuning in. Now get out there and change the world around you.
Vous verrez comment un simple disque peut aller plus loin que vous ne l'auriez imaginé. Mettez-vous dans une tenue légère. Ôtez tout ce qui peut vous gêner ou tirer votre attention. Cherchez la meilleure position. Les bras et les jambes légèrement espacés. Étirez-vous doucement, mais complètement. En avant, en arrière, sur les côtés. Vous êtes une autre personne. Les mères de famille, les enfants, peuvent également prendre un moment revitalisant. Dans quelques mois, lorsque vous aurez bien saisi la technique et que vous serez maître de votre corps, vous pourrez vous décontracter même en travaillant.